Hello, I'm Catherine Logan and I'm here today at the GBTA broadcast studio. Joining me is Tim Hoy, Sales Account Manager at Air Canada. Tim, welcome.
Hi everyone, nice meeting you guys. Very delighted to join the GBTA event.
No, great to have you here, along with the many hundreds that we have, which I'm thrilled about. So Tim, recently we're seeing a lot of pent-up demand for travel, both leisure and business.
Definitely.
But, how are airlines, like Air Canada, coping with that return to travel?
Now, right now I see a lot of airlines are trying to revive their parked aircraft during COVID, and to try to cope with the demands, the surge in demands, and that's one of the many ways that they're trying to cope with that. They're also trying to implement more efficient flight scheduling. They're trying to have more efficient flight handling, baggage handling, passenger handling, and also streamlining check-ins, streamlining boarding processes to basically shorten the turnaround time for flights. Airlines are basically trying to squeeze the most available seats in a certain period of time so that we can actually fulfill all the demands, basically. We also do have baggage policies in place, whereas now we would charge $100 for the second bag, not because we want to, let's be honest, $100 is not going to make or float an airline. It's more about we're trying to save the baggage spaces and handling capacities for the people who really, really need it. Because we do see sometimes, just because the second bag is free, that a lot of people would use it, and that actually adds stress to baggage handlers all around the world. And we are trying to save it for the people who need it, basically. And we're trying to allocate resources in areas with higher demand. So, for example, Singapore to Vancouver from AC is a good example. We are seeing good demand from Singapore to Canada right now. And so we are going to start that route in April next year.
How exciting.
Direct, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I mean, every airline is different. Some airlines who don't see this route as being high demand might be different for other airlines. So I like to use the analogy of, a local seafood restaurant. They might not see as much demand at a certain location than a steakhouse would see it. So that's how it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. So in terms of the whole sort of changing or trying to address that increase in demand, it sounds like we've just finished Formula One here in Singapore. Right. So it sounds like you as an airline are looking at all the ways in which you can stream sort of be more efficient and deal with people, and then also using that pricing policy to influence traveller behaviour.
At the end of the day, it's about how airlines can fulfill these demands. Demands are huge now.
Yeah.
And so we try our best
Yeah.
To make everyone happy, basically.
Yeah. And I guess with the new route, there's a little bit of the Kevin Costner, if you build it, they will come kind of thing, So yeah, helping to create that demand. No, that's really exciting. I hope that goes well for you. So thinking about corporate travel specifically, how have you seen that come back?
Now, for corporate travels, from pre-COVID, yes, it has come back, but there is a but, So how we've seen it is in Q1, 2023, corporate travels are trying to reach out, experimenting different ways to cope with the new norm, and so Q1's was not as good as previous years, pre-COVID. I'm talking about Q2, Q3, and Q4. Are actually exceeded our expectations, and if we draw a line in the middle, it should be about the same as pre-COVID years, and in 2024 it should actually exceed 2023 with that extra quarter where we can calculate into, of course.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and corporate now are like they're picking up on signing corporate deals with airlines. You know, trying to find out which air supplier is best for them, and also corporate deals are actually being signed right now. So I see it being an upcoming. And of course, GBTA would be a great example that and a sign, you know, that air travel is coming back for corporates.
Absolutely. So it's an indicator of positive
That
signs,
is
yeah. And
exactly
I suppose
right.
that sort of the confidence in the future to be able to sign those deals,
Correct,
which is
exactly.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So the pandemic's changed so much in our lives, and it's changed a lot
gosh.
in travel, as we both know. So in your view, how has COVID changed corporate air travel?
During COVID, we've seen about 100% drop in traveling for internal meetings, corporate internal meetings, of course, in retreats, you know, in conferences. But I mean, and back in the days, I mean, COVID years, travel was basically only for sales, whereas meeting the client would make or break a deal, you see. And post-COVID, the corporates have actually changed their travel policies a bit. So, for example, we have a corporate that has changed their policies for business class travels, you know, now that they're only able to fly business class if it's a 6-hour flight or more. That would be okay for us in the Transpac market, because every flight is basically going to be 6 hours. But that would affect domestic flights a little, and anyways, and because after COVID, we've seen a lot of people, a lot of executives, they're able to work from home now. And working from home might also mean they can work out of Bali, exotic places.
Work from where you are, basically.
Maldives,
Yes.
right? So we actually are going to see a lot more demand from these smaller places, smaller cities, not out of New York, London, Hong Kong, Singapore, but we are going to see some of those, yeah.
So it's the change in working patterns that is really, and then I suppose also like corporates being more conscious, more purposeful travel.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
No. Well, no, it's fascinating, and Tim, thank you so much for joining us today at the GBTA Broadcast Studio. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys.